Hello guys, welcome to Information 2 Software. I'm Hao-Wen, and today I would like to introduce the installation and configuration of the i2UP platform. i2UP is a unified data management platform that includes the multiple functionalities such as data monitoring, the disaster recovery, migration, synchronization, and archiving. It's designed to improve the automatic management level of basic disaster recovery architecture, making it very convenient to manage and monitor the various tasks through the i2UP platform. In this demonstration, I prepared the Rocky Linux environment and all the package we will need. Well, this package depends on the specific Information 2 product you need, so please make sure you have the list of required package before starting. Additionally, confirm these packages are of the same version. Well, I classify this different package to the server part, and we can start from the web console. In this directory, you will see the list of the web console package we need to install, and the web console and the web console lib. These two packages are monitor the center modules. After installing and configuring them, user can freely access the i2UP console server. Well, before we install them, there is some dependency package we need to install first. So let's just yum install unzip, zip, and psmax. Alright, so let's start to install the web console lib first, because it's a basic structure of the web console module. So let's rpm-fh info web console lib, and go ahead to install the web console module. After we finish the installation of the web console module, it brings the several configuration we need to set. The first one is storage path we need to set, and generally you can just press enter directly to set it as default. Otherwise, if you have the specific path you need to set as a storage path, you need to ensure you already assign the necessary permission, such as access permission to it. Alright, the next one is initialize the database. I recommend to initialize it as a default, so let's just click enter again. Alright, and set the password of the Reddit database, but actually there's several accounts we need to set the password, and this password must meet the complexity requirement, at least 8 characters, including the uppercase letters, the lowercase letters, the special characters, and the numbers. I strongly recommend you using the same password for all accounts to avoid any password forgotten. Especially the password reset process is not easy in my experience. So I just set a password for the first account. And confirm it. Alright, Once the configuration is complete, we can check the status of the service by the system control commands. Let's check i2UP first. And i2REST. i2WS. i2PHP. i2PGSQL. And ipproc. Okay, now actually we already got the permission to access i2UP, so you can just enter your IP address of your control server, and in this case it should be the safety as an end, and the port is 58086. If you cannot access i2UP, well, you may consider to disable your firewall or just release the specific port, and then we need to assign the system admin and initialize admin account, and the password is totally same password you set before. It will show the password expired and ask you to set the new one. Then we just set a new one and reconfirm it. Alright, and then let's click the user on the left panel. There is an admin account. Let's click modify and activate it. Set the password again. Then let's log out and sign in the admin account. And change password again. Well, in this case, you can set your IP address of control server, and generally it default as your IP address of it, and the console timeout you can customize it, but just for me, I just select never. Alright, and leave the rest of configuration as a default, or you have the specific requirement regarding the registration method. Select the language and save it. Alright, there is UI platform of the i2UP, you can find all the functionalities and different node registration page on this platform. But before we initialize all the functionality, we need to install the corresponding modules on our control server or any other server. All right. So before we start to install the rest of module, I just would like to introduce them one by one. All right, let's start from the DR node. There is a DR node package we need to install, and the DR node, its responsibility is to handle the data transmission during the operation of the schedule server. It covers all the information to software products, and any server with a DR node can be registered to the i2UP platform for further task assignment. So in this case, we just unpack it and install this package. Because this package contains all the product of information to software, so the size is quite huge compared with another module, so it always takes the moment to finish the installation process. Alright, since we finished the installation of DR node, we can register our server as a node to the i2UP platform. Well, during your registration process, the i2UP will ask you the account name and password to finish the verification. In this case, we can choose the two methods. First one is your root account and password, but because maybe some customers think it will validate the credential data, so we can also choose another way to create your own username and password only for DR node domain registration. And then let's just run the command below. And drcfg, then auth create. You can customize your username here, and in this case, I just use user and the password as this one. Just later, I will go back to the i2UP and demonstrate the process of the DR node registration. Currently, I just introduce the rest of the module. There's two modules. The schedule server has two relevant modules, the etcd and skinned. i2skinned module is responsible for scheduling the task on backup client and returning the scheduling result to the schedule server. And i2etcd is used to monitor and store the data, such as the status of the backup server, storage unit, and the node information. It helps the schedule server capture the relevant information about the backup domain for task management and assignment. And then it's a VP. VP means virtual platform, and there's two modules relate to the virtual platform. It's a DR node VP plugin and a VPMGR. VPMGR server as a central control hub for managing virtual machine protection policies, task scheduling, and status monitoring. The DR node VP plugin acts as an execution agent deployed on nodes to perform specific operations like the data capture, instruction execution, and the status feedback. These two components collaborate to enable the virtual machine disaster recovery management. So let's go back to the schedule server directory and install them one by one. Alright, since we finished the installation of the schedule module, we also need to create the username and the password for the further schedule server registration on the i2UP later. Then let's clear the history and move on to install the etcd module. Let's click Y for yes. It also requires you to create the password for etcd account, so let's just use the totally same password here and confirm it. Alright, actually the etcd also need to configure the setting regarding the host. Alright, now we also need to do some modification for the file hosts, and we can just edit the host file stored in the etc directory. We just need to add the IP address of the web console server and point to the i2.etcd. Then save it and quit. Alright, since we finished the installation of the schedule server and the etcd, we also need to initialize the i2 server service by the system control command. Alright, then we check the status. Okay, let's go back to the i2UP platform, and we need to do some initial configuration for this platform. Please just move to the admin button here and click AK or SK. There we can create the access key for the normal or machine-to-machine type, and click new to create a new one, but because I already create one, so I don't need just do it again. And click the etcd settings. The etcd username is a root, but please note it's not the root account of your Linux system. It's root account of your etcd module you set before. And enter the password here. The cluster address, it should be i2.etcd, and we just set any random name here and the address. Then save it. Alright, let's switch into the scheduling server here. Also input your IP address. Node access address is totally same as your IP address of web console, so let's just enter it again. Put the etcd here and select the directory in metadata set. And please enter your username and password you set for the schedule server before. Then save the settings. Alright, then let's go back to the resource section. Click the node section here and click new button to create the new node. And this time, because we just register our web console server as a node, so I just name it as safety web console. Generally, the data IP is totally same as your management IP, and it will detect the IP address of control console IP automatically, and the schedule server as well. Well, there's two methods you can pass node verification. You can choose to use your root account of your Linux system, or just before we also create the username and password just for their node registration. So in this case, I just use the later one. Then click verify. It will detect your type of the system is Linux or Windows or others. And in this case, we just confirm it and check the status. Once the status become online, that means the i2UP platform just detect your web console server is active. So the registration and the activation is already finished. Alright, let's go back to our Linux system. Let's just finish the rest of modules installation. And let's begin from the virtual platform. The both modules it do not have any other configuration. We just need to install them and initialize the functionality of it. Then we can use virtualization, backup, and recovery freely on the i2UP platform. Alright, let's move on to the node VP plugin. Okay, now let's go to the kernel module we need to install it. And before I explain the process of installation, I have to mention if your web console module version is not 9.1.3 or greater, then you can skip this process. Otherwise, yeah, please just follow the instruction and finish the kernel module installation. Alright, kernel module, it includes the detracker and the SFS. We need to install them by the program which is stored on the path user .soft .node script and the kernel module install program. Then let's just input the detracker. Alright, this program will detect your kernel version of your Linux system. If the kernel version is match the requirement of the kernel module, it will install it automatically. Otherwise, it will mention you which kernel version is suitable for this module. Or you can do the same thing to another one. SFS. Okay, on i2UP platform, there's a section we need to move to the system settings and click the license. There, you can apply your new license to initialize any functionality of the i2UP platform. You need to provide your console ID here. You can copy and paste them, then send to the your technical support engineer or any information to software agent. Then they will return you the email and attach the txt file, and in this file you can just copy the content inside and click add here, then paste the secret code and confirm it. Then you can add your own license successfully. Otherwise, you can also choose to drop the file to the license file here and upload here. Okay, there is all content of the i2UP instruction, and I hope you enjoy this video and find some valuable from this video as well. And have a nice day. Goodbye.